Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So we got the dev stream earlier today from the Tokyo Game Show, and this covered the stuff that is coming in October: Swords, New Void Vessel, New Abyss Colossus, things like that. Before I go into that, they were giving out 2 coupon codes that you can redeem in game and get a bunch of items, colors and crystallization catalyst and things like that. So what you need to do is go into your options, into your account, and the new in the enter coupon section, you have to enter both of these 2 codes separately, and then you will get a mail with the items. You have to do this before the end of 28th September, so before end of tomorrow. So before I go into the summary, I wanted to sort of give you a channel update type thing briefly, because I want to make some changes here, simply because things are getting a little too negative in the comment section. Now, over the last week, I did not make any videos, partly because I wasn't well, and also because I was seriously thinking of stopping covering the first Descendant. Not because I'm not going to play the game or something, but because all I see is just constant negativity. Basically, you have a few types of comments. You have people who just whine and cry and complain about every single little thing in the game. There are people who just overreact before finding out what's happening. Then you have people who are just straight up racist or toxic in general, so I ban them immediately. Like, there are people who leave toxic comments or like something very rude, let's say, that YouTube blocks automatically. And then they come back and get mad at me for removing their comment, which I did not do in the first place. Then there are some people who, like I said, who only ever leave negative comments or toxic comments, or this game is dying and blah, blah, blah. If that is the case, why are you still here? I've actually replied to a few of them, and 1 or 2 have been good enough to not bother with my channel, and I respect them for that. Because if you just want to whine, I'm not some agony uncle that you can come and just cry about the game. Go to Reddit and other places. I just like to cover games that I enjoy playing, and yeah, you can have some sort of criticism of the game or how things are being done. Every little thing, even a meme posted, results in people arguing and being toxic. If you hate the game so much, just play something else. Come on, save everybody the hassle and just find something that you enjoy. There's no shortage of games. There are new games coming out all the time, because we all know at this point how the game works, and the devs in fact openly say things like that, like what they're going to do. Male descendants are not doing well, so we are not going to make that many skins for the male descendants or upgrade them and stuff, even though they're still improving the descendants and stuff. But people just complain. There are no skins to earn in the game, even though we have skins like the Abyss skins and stuff like that, and the daily login skins. No, constant complaining, nitpicking everything. And oftentimes what I've also noticed is, once the update is live, it's not as bad as people were saying when they first heard it. Anyway, the point of all this is, in order for me to keep continuing, making content for the game, I'm going to start being liberal with the ban hammer and just remove the unnecessarily negative, aggressive, rude, racist, toxic people. So yeah, I'm sorry if you get banned, but this is not Reddit. I need to keep my channel under control. I have actually asked my couple of friends to get more involved and made them mods on the channel as well. So yeah, I have to do this, otherwise I'll find another game and move on, because I have played PvP games, but the amount of toxicity and the negativity I see with TFD and in the comments is just outstanding. Like, I played this game to get away from all of that. If I wanted all this nonsense, I would have stayed with PvP games. And the funny thing is, in the game, I've not had one literal bad interaction. Not one. But the comments is just constant whining, unable to read, unable to see, unable to wait what's coming. Like, you listen and you'll see, it's not that bad. But overreacting to every little thing. Anyway, sorry for dragging this along. But yeah, basically I'll be making some changes. Sorry if you get banned or something. But yeah, I need to clean things up because this is out of control. All right, so first up, let's talk about the things that are coming. I'll quickly read through them. I may not go into detail with all of them because, again, once they come out, we'll be making videos anyway. So first up, we have Swords, the Shadow and Deus Ex Manus. we have sword exclusive modules plus the external component set. So there's a separate component set for swords. Then we have Void Vessel, a medium-sized facility. Now, this point I'm a little unclear about because I've been seeing the medium-sized facility being mentioned quite a bit. So is the existing Void Vessel a small-sized facility, or is it a large-sized facility and this is medium? So yeah, I'm not quite sure, but we shall see. And also, are the enemies tougher here? Because I don't remember them mentioning this. New trigger module. We also have the Void Intercept, Intercept, the Lava Citadel. I thought this looked cool. Then we have the Executioner will be roaming around in the action planes as well. So up until now, we had Grave Walker, Swamp Walker, and Dead Bride. Now they'll have Executioner as well. Then some other quality of life changes like the removal of the reconstruction device where we open the amorphous so you can do it in the game, things like that. So let's get into the swords first. So we have two kinds of swords here. Two swords. And they look cool. Like I was curious about how they would work, but they seem to work very similarly to the guns. You'll have to farm 5 copies and you put modules in them, you put cores and things like that. And basically what they have come up with here is your bullets are acting as sort of, you could say, stamina. So every swing of your sword is like a bullet being consumed. So I think the way you could do this is perhaps have people like Glaive, for example, use it here so you're not using it, using the stamina, or you could have the dog that gives you some ammo. They also showed off a trigger module where you were getting ammo back. So yeah, it should be okay. I'm curious about how much damage the swords will do and if they have the AoE clear ability, because obviously we have skill-based Descendants that can clear lots of enemies very quickly, and if this sword is only clearing a couple of enemies at a time, then we are back to the situation with the weapons where you may use it occasionally for like the elites or the bigger bosses, but otherwise skills would still be useful. So I mean, it could still work. Like you could take the Voltia, one of the swords, and just go and use your skills against the enemies. Once you run into the boss or something, if these swords are doing a lot of single target damage, you can just use that against the bosses, because some of the Descendants are weaker against single targets. So this could be a good way of balancing it without having to have ammo. For example, the launchers, apart from Glay and 1 or 2 other people, you're always running out of ammo on the launchers. So with this sword, if the ammo isn't a problem, you could use that and use it against the elite. So it could work. We'll wait and see how this goes. But yeah, swords look cool. How useful they are, we'll have to see. So with the other sword, the Deus Ex Manus, this was with the Ajax. I remember seeing like a massive 46 million damage or something with one of the hits at the end. So it seems to be doing a lot of damage. They also added a separate external component set for the sword. So I think what they're trying to do is some Descendants that may be, you could say, not as practical in terms of their skills uses, like Haley, for example. Maybe you could use this component set and put more swords and use that. Maybe that could make them a little more viable. We shall see. But yeah, interesting update. It looks pretty cool. Like the swords do look very cool. I can't deny that. But how useful they are against the current content, we shall see. Then we had the medium-sized Void Vessel facility. They showcased this with Jaber. So otherwise, this would have been much shorter, in my opinion. They also wanted to show the swords and things like that. Like I said earlier, the medium size, again, I'm not clear. Is it medium compared to the first one being small, or is it medium compared to the first one being large? Because I couldn't really tell with this gameplay. There are several sections. It seemed about the same in terms of clear times, like if you were running this with Bunny or something. Some different mechanics. It looks slightly different. I'm okay with that. Obviously, there will be the storage boxes as well to open here, but yeah, it looks good. I want more variety, like several different types of Void Vessels, just to change the scenery a little bit. So I don't mind. I think this is a good addition. We need more dungeons and more missions, and even if they're just a little different. The boss at the end was also using swords to fight. So see if I can get to the end here. So boss was also charging and hitting with swords and was seemingly doing a lot of damage. Now, of course, I did not see how much the total HP was on the Jaber that the dev was using. So yeah, but it seemed like the boss was doing some damage, so you may want to be careful and put some HP mods. Again, they did not mention if the enemies in this void vessel will be tougher than the ones in the previous one. I assume it'll be about the same. So yeah, this should be another one where we can farm quickly. We will be farming the swords in here, the blueprints for the swords in the void vessel and the new materials and things. Next, they had the lava citadel boss, the abyss boss, and actually this looked good. The background scenery was different, the whole setup was different. The community manager was playing this, and it was a case of them focusing too much on playing and not talking and explaining the mechanics of the fight. But again, we'll figure this out. But it seemed like this was interesting and had several different things happening. Not particularly difficult from what I could tell, but it looked cool and slightly different. Now you can see the background, there's like a lava mountain in the background, and the molten fortress variant is like spewing lava and volcano stuff everywhere. So yeah, it looked good. And of course, then we also have the skins that go with this um, abyss boss, and I think they looked good. The back attachment looked really nice. It looked like a big turtle or something, and it wasn't just sort of hanging and flailing around. It was sort of walking and climbing. So I thought this looked cool. The outfits were, yeah, they're standard. I don't think it's that bad. It's not that great either, but I think it's all right. The outfit for the males and the females. So yeah, so more outfits to one. By the way, if you are still, if you have the green tokens from the Stormhanger variant, you can save up those and they can still be used. These skins for the Stormhanger will also be available until the end of season, until like 6th of November when the episode 2 starts. So if you have some coins saved up, or if you want to, earn some coins, you can do that. Or if you're not interested in Stormhanger, you can still get the Stormhanger skins when this Lava Citadel comes around. The Stormhanger boss itself will go away, but everything else should be the same with ETA. So yeah, overall, I think this wasn't too bad. It looked good on Asimo as well. After that, they briefly talked about the changes with the removal of the optimization condition and the removal of the amorphous material reconstruction device. And overall, I think the reasoning is sound. It makes sense. The only reason why people get a little annoyed is simply because they tend to remove the stuff without adding the sort of replacement content, which they said they will be reworking and adding in 2026. So basically, it does remove the little bit of content we had. It wasn't great, and I agree with all their points. Basically, the hard colossus were becoming too easy. The high-level players were one-shotting them in a few seconds. The new players were still joining them in public lobbies with other people and struggling. So it was just not in a good state, the colossus. So I think rework is definitely necessary. What they could have done, in my opinion, is maybe reworked one of them or something, just to show what they're trying to do. Because at the moment they said we have the idea in the conceptual phase and we will add the colossus later on. So basically at the moment, there isn't much point to the colossus. I think you can go and get the external component sets, but other than that, at the moment there isn't much. The opening of the amorphous material, I think that is not a bad way. I was thinking maybe it might cost something, currency or something to use in game, but it seems like it's just you go into the research institute, there's another terminal over there. You use that shaping device and open as many amorphous materials as possible. You can open 100 of them. You just cycle through them and get all of them. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, I have hundreds. I wouldn't be surprised if I have like 600-700 amorphous materials remaining, and I open them regularly every day. And even then, I have a lot. So yeah, this isn't bad. This is not a bad idea. But yeah, I'm hoping they can rework the Colossus soonish and have them be more rewarding and interesting to players, because I think when the game first launched, the Colossus were a big attraction, a big draw to a lot of us, people like me. Like when we tested the beta, I think everyone agreed that, oh, this looks cool, the big sort of raid missions against these giant Colossus. That was very appealing. But over time, with the way things went and how they nerfed them, they became a little bit of a joke. It took longer to load into the arena than to kill them. So yeah, I agree with most of their points. I just hope they could at least have given us one or two reworked Colossus in the meantime. But we shall see. So that will come hopefully early next year in 2026. With the reactors, yeah, I don't mind the change of the optimization on the reactors simply because there are just too many things, especially for newer players. Even for older players, a new gun becomes meta, and then you have to implant that, and then you have to think, okay, what gun should I remove because I've set up 3 guns that I use with this Descendants, and now I have to implant another one. Should I get another reactor and implant more guns? So they have simplified that, and I agree. I think that is just unnecessary hassle. To compensate, they're giving people 3 crystallization catalysts. I don't know if anybody bought anything with real money to improve the reactors. I never did. I mean, I farmed the content, the stuff, the ion accelerators and stuff. So for me, it's not that big a deal. It should make life easy for everyone, even me, because going forward, we won't have to do this. But yeah, I think this is a necessary change at this point. Then they briefly talked about changes to Kyle and one or two other people. With Bunny, they are going to, what they were saying was they wanted to get the lesser used skills more used, let's say. So with the Thrill Bomb, for example, with Bunny, it was slowing Bunny down when she was using the Thrill Bomb. So they want people to use that more. So they're removing the speed reduction. With Kyle and stuff, they have also made changes so you can, use your this bash skill a bit more conveniently. And yeah, we'll see how they rework Kyle. It did not seem like a huge change in terms of the reworks, just improving the way the skills are used. So we shall see. I mean, obviously, I'll be making videos and stuff anyway, so don't want to jump to reactions. But yeah, you can use your fourth when you're in the air and things like this. So it looks all positive. Now on to the somewhat controversial thing, and that is the event pass. So I've watched this part over and over trying to understand what they're trying to do here. Basically, what it seems to me is the transcendent level skins. So the swords, they'll have 2 types of skins. They'll have the legendary skin that we have for guns anyway, and then they have a higher tier skin, which will be the transcendent level. And this will change the animation as well as the sound effects of the swords. All well and good. But instead of selling them in the shop like standard skins, they have made a event pass, a sword pass, let's say. And they've put 30 levels on this pass that you can pick up, and you'll also get some free items here. After checking with the in-game store and stuff, what I've realized is basically they're probably wondering if they priced it at a higher point if people would buy it. So they, instead of putting them in the shop for, let's say, 800 caliber or something, because your normal skins are costing 500. These, if they're supposed to be more impressive skins, they probably wanted to charge more, but they weren't sure if people would buy them. So what they did was they wrapped it in like a bundle, but instead of a bundle, it's more of a pass, a mini battle pass, if you will. Now they said when you unlock the premium version of this for 1000 caliber, and you complete the 30 levels, you'll get the items here. As you can see, there are some free items here as well that you can get just for playing this. So at the end of the day, what you're getting is you're getting 2 skins for the swords for 1000. If the skins were sold individually in the store, they would have been more than 500 in my opinion. Because again, like I said, the legendaries are 500, these are transcendent, they would have wanted more for this. So it's kind of a bundle advertised as a battle pass. That is what it seems to me. Now, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? I mean, it's optional, you don't have to buy it. I'm currently leaning more towards the not buying it side, because unless the swords are really, really cool and I really want to buy the sword skins, I don't really see a need to get this. You can get some of the free items anyway. And the 2 sword skins, again, like I said, if the swords are really, really cool and you want all the skins for them, then yeah, 1000 for 2 skins doesn't seem that bad. But yeah, it's optional in my opinion. So far, I've not bought any weapon skins in this game. I have bought a few Descendant skins here and there. Even there, I haven't bought anything for months now. But with the weapon skins, I've used the skins from the battle pass. So perhaps that is the logic here. People don't buy skins separately for this weapon, so put it in a battle pass, a mini battle pass, and maybe they'll consider it more. So yeah, we shall see. But as usual, my policy is always use your wallet to send a message. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, just don't spend the money on this. It's completely optional anyway. But yeah, they're trying different tactics for monetization. And yeah, again, if you like it, great. If not, yeah, I'll only consider this once I test the swords and if they are really usable, because they do look cool in the menu when they're standing with the swords. So you have the Ajax here looking cool, especially with this skin. Like, I'm tempted to look at this skin and see if it's still available. They are trying to improve Ajax, so yeah, this looks pretty cool. So yeah, so that is basically it um, for the live stream, and they also showed some skins that are coming. So it will be the usual thing. Every couple of weeks there will be some new skins. You can pick and choose what they want. I'll leave that up to you. So yeah, so overall, my thoughts regarding this, I don't mind the swords. They look cool, but will they be good? We shall see. Descendant buffs, Kyle looks like he's getting improved. They seem to be really wanting to improve Ajax with all the different trigger modules and the swords now and things like that. The Void Vessel, again, more content is fine, more missions, more dungeons. I'm all for that. So yeah, interesting, but again, as usual, we shall see once the update is live and how these things work out, because at this point, speculating too much is just unnecessary, and we'll find out anyway. So yeah, so that is it for this one. Thank you for watching as always, and hopefully I can get back into making some videos. And yeah, see you next time.